Hello everyone, I'm Travis.
And I'm David.
And we're the Game Detectives.
Side quests play an important role in games because they offer something fun to do outside of the main quest while also building the world around you. Legend of Zelda isn't necessarily known for its side quests, but we decided that for our second video for Zelda Month, we would be choosing our top 10 side quests.
Now this top 10 list is going to be a little bit different than our previous ones. Me and David have each chose our top 5 side quests, and we'll explain them individually. I'll start it off. Travis number 5. The alien attack on Romani Ranch in Majora's Mask. Saving the Romani Ranch is one of the side quests that perfectly shows off how complex and how strange a game Majora's Mask is. On any given day of the 3-day cycle, you can only make it to Romani Ranch on the 3rd day, where it seems the ranch is beyond saving, and Romani herself seems very out of it. Eventually, you get to a point where you can reach the ranch on earlier days in the cycle and find out exactly what happened. It turns out aliens, of all things, have invaded. If you're able to save the ranch, you're able to get the Romani Mask, which allows you to get in the milk bar at any time to get Chateau Romani, which will give you unlimited magic during the 3-day cycle. This side quest plays perfectly into the world of Majora's Mask. It's completely optional and could very easily be missed on a normal playthrough of the game, but taking the time to explore and experiment heavily at different points in the cycle rewards you with an interesting story and the Chateau Romani as well, which makes other side quests and even some boss battles much easier to complete.
David's number 5. Cave of Ordeals from Twilight Princess. When the Savage Labyrinth showed up in Wind Waker, I was pretty happy. I got to fight a lot of enemies and unique combinations that posed a real challenge. But I missed using the items to explore the area itself. So when the Cave of Ordeals in Twilight Princess incorporated dungeon items, I felt like the Cave of Ordeals was more connected to the game around it, which bumps it up from the Savage Labyrinth for me. The main reason why the Cave of Ordeals is lower on my list is because it just doesn't use the items to the full extent.
Travis's number 4. Kinstones from the Minish Cap. The Minish Cap is one of my favorite Zelda games. While not too much that's wholly new or unique, it refines and streamlines the 2D Zelda formula and has a lot of charm to it. Kinstones, however, are an element unique to this game and a side quest that follows you from start to finish of the adventure. It allows you to interact with almost every character in a way you couldn't before, and you never really know what the effect of a Kinstone fusion might be. Sometimes you'll just get some rupees, sometimes a heart piece, or sometimes they'll even dramatically change the world, opening up new paths or side quests of their own. They have a fun, almost trading card aspect to them. They're sort of the new craze in Hyrule that everyone has gotten involved in.
David's number 4. Gerudo Training Ground from Ocarina of Time. The Gerudo Training Grounds is an extremely streamlined way to test your strength, brains, and mastery of the controls of Ocarina of Time. The main mechanic of the training grounds is to get small keys that will open up the pathway to the main chest, which contains the ice arrows. While the ice arrows themselves are not vital to finishing the game, you can freeze enemies with them, causing double damage once the enemies thaw out. But the best part of the Gerudo Training Ground are the various challenges you must complete. Some are timed rupee hunts, some are simply defeating foes, and others test your platforming skills. You need mastery of almost every single item that Adult Link can use to fully complete the dungeon, especially aiming with the bow and arrow. Also, I think the Lens of Truth is used best in the Gerudo Training Ground, because the point of this area is to test your abilities, and only a shrewd eye can find every single key necessary to get to the chest.
Travis number 3. Boomerang Trading Sequence from Link's Awakening. Trading and fetch quests are nothing unique to Link's Awakening or even Zelda games in general, and this one really isn't anything magnificent on the surface as well. Sure, seeing the Yoshi doll or the Chain Chomp in a Zelda game is fun, and all of the items you trade can be pretty funny, this side quest is more about the destination than the journey. While the trading sequence itself can be somewhat mundane, the reward at the end of this mega-powered boomerang is what puts this one on the list.
David's number 3. Thunder Dragon's Lightning Round from Skyward Sword. By now, you'll probably start seeing a trend in my favorite side quests. I think side quests are most effective when they offer an intense challenge to the player that builds directly off the main quest. Much like Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword offers players a more intense challenge based off some enemies you encounter in the game. However, in Thunder Dragon's Lightning Round, you don't have to rematch with any old enemies. Rather, you get to fight the main bosses of the game over again in a no-holds-bar throwdown, one after another with no healing items or hearts. What I like so much about the Lightning Round is, first, you get to fight Galactos, one of my favorite bosses from the series, and that it is actually challenging to complete everything without dying. If you beat every boss, you get 9,900 rupees, which really isn't all that useful late in the game. But, as with all good side quests, it's not about the prize, but about the journey. The Lightning Round in Hero Mode is probably the hardest challenge I've faced in a mainline Zelda title, which automatically bumps this side quest up to number 3 on my favorite Zelda side quests.
Travis's number 2. The Tempered Sword in A Link to the Past. You upgrade the Master Sword, and it's cool.
David's number 2. The Bigoron Sword Trading Sequence. The trading sequence is, at its most basic, a series of fetch quests that result in you getting a two-handed sword. But what elevates this side quest is the fact that it tells a very intriguing story. Grog was an interesting character from the first time we meet him in Kakariko Village, and through the trading sequence, you learn that his father basically disowned him, leading him to hide in the Lost Woods, where he turns into a Stalfos. While a lot of the game is creepy, especially the bottom of the well, I think this is when the game got most bleak, because you got to see an actual character transform for the worst under Ganondorf's influence. Ultimately, it's the story behind the side quest that makes me love the Bigoron Sword trading sequence.
Travis's number 1. The Picto Box and Nintendo Gallery from Wind Waker. Now, there certainly are some flaws with this one. The low amount of pictures you can save on the Picto Box and having to wait for the figures to be made can be a pain. But both of these problems are fixed in the HD remake. The questline you have to follow to get the colored Picto Box is the most unique of any Zelda game. So unique, in fact, it almost doesn't seem like it would fit in a Zelda game. You have to assist an old photographer named Lenzo, using clues and talking to the inhabitants of Windfall Island to catch pictures of them in certain situations, or of certain things, including scaring a man who is afraid of earthquakes, or catching another man sending love letters. Well, this is all enough for me to put it high on the side quest list, but once you've worked enough with Lenzo, you can finally gain access to the Nintendo Gallery. At the Nintendo Gallery, you can bring Karloff pictures of basically any enemy, character, or boss, and he'll make a figurine of it to display in the gallery. Well, this adds a whole new level of replayability and challenge on repleted playthroughs. Going through the game trying to take pictures of almost everything transforms into an entirely different experience, especially considering bosses and one or two NPCs can be easily missed. You're no longer spending the journey trying to simply get through the dungeons as you've already done. Now you're trying to line up the perfect picture shots, mind your 3-point rule, and stave out film for maximum efficiency. There's no specific grand award for all your efforts, but being able to see all the statues and read all the descriptions is like viewing your trophy collection in Super Smash Bros. This side quest is one for the people who like to explore every nook and cranny of the world, and fits in perfectly with Wind Waker, making it my number 1 Zelda side quest.
David's number 1. Cafe in Anju, Majora's Mask. Like the Bigoron Sword trading sequence, this side quest has a lot of fetch quests, but it also has the additional challenge of being in the right place at the right time for a lot of events to fully occur. Miss getting into the hideout with Cafe? Sorry, but the story ends there. Meet in the kitchen at 3:30 instead of 1:30, well, the quest doesn't even start. While some people might see the progression of time as annoying, I think it adds depth and strategy to the side quest while still being realistic to the world around it. Finally, the side quest runs the gamut of emotions that the game has to offer. Remorse for a mother losing her son, hope that love will stay true even until the end of the world, and trust that newfound friends will be there to support one another. Cafe and Anju's quests serve as a microcosm for all of the emotions and themes of the game, while also being extremely fun to play through.
So that was our list of the top 10 Zelda side quests. Did you have any in mind that didn't make the list?
Should I never wear a costume again?
Let us know in the comments.